Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm the Gentleman. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Pixel Club. This is Tiki Taca by Climacus. And Climacus, I hope I haven't butchered your name, but thank you for a brilliant game here. Tiki Taca is a remake of Attic Attack from the 1980s, but in 2019. This is a retro channel. This game is technically retro, even though it's reasonably new because it's been played on a retro system. And it's a brilliant remake, a brilliant throwback to the original game. The original game was a top-down maze game where you had to essentially collect various items to escape a castle. This is a 3D isometric version of this as well. And what you're seeing me trying to do here is get the keys in correctly. I was all fingers and thumbs trying to do this because I want to be able to control the character correctly. You have a choice of three characters, I believe it's three characters to pick, and they all have a different ability, which is they can use a different shortcut, a different secret passage. Each of them has that skill. So the knight uses one type of secret passages, the serf would use another, and the wizard would use another. The screen that I was just in was the starting screen, and you can tell that's the starting screen because the castle exit doors, or the mansion, whatever you want to call it, are effectively on the top right of the screen. And my objective here is to go through this mansion stroke castle, whatever it may be, and I have to collect 3 keys. And the keys are not the key that you see here, which is the green key. I have to collect 3 yellow keys, and the key is broken. The big yellow key, the big exit yellow key, is broken up into 3 parts, and only when I've got that can I escape the castle through the main doors. This game is almost a perfect recreation of the original ZX Spectrum version, playing, ironically, on the ZX Spectrum that you can see here. There are 2 differences. The first difference is the stairs have been removed from the game and they've been replaced by a lift. The second difference is that the secret passages are not always in the same place as the original game, but beyond that, as far as I can tell, this game is exactly the same, but everything has been created in a glorious, fantastic 3D that you can see on the screen here. The challenge to get the 3 pieces of the main key, which is a yellow key, not a small key but a big key, is you can only carry 3 items at once. On your journey you need a selection of keys to get you through doors. The room I'm in at the moment has green banding on the doors, and because I'm carrying a green key I can get through there. The room I was just in had red bandings on the door, so I obviously need the red key to be able to carry items to go through this. The enemies have been lovingly recreated from the original Spectrum version, and if you've not played Attic Attack on the Spectrum, do fire that up, do have a look to see how brilliant this conversion was. I've just used a secret passage there, so this character alone can use that secret passage, but no other characters in the game can, depending on what you pick for the starting character. And I want to draw your attention right now to the chicken on the bottom right hand side of my screen. That represents your energy, and here is a piece of the main key, so I need 2 other pieces of this key to exit the game. Anyway, the chicken is your energy. When an enemy touches you, that drains, and over time you can collect food to increase your chicken, but once the chicken is down to 0 you lose a life, and if you've got any left you move on to the next life. The enemies in the game are exactly as they were on the original game, and you have these ones that materialize that you see, and the longer you stay in a room the more of them appear. And you have super enemies, for want of a better word. These are enemies that are always in the room by default, and their objective is obviously to kill you like everything else. But there are items on the floor that you can pick up along with the selection of keys that you have that will help you kill these enemies. And with them, and if you're carrying a special item, they can't kill you. This has been, as I say, lifted from the original 1980s version, and there's one of the special enemies there, put into a new version, and it works perfectly. The best compliment that I can give this game is it reminds me very much of the original because it's recreating it, and more important than that, it could have almost been done by Ultimate themselves. It is so good. I'm loving this. I've got 2 keys at the moment. I still need the blue key and the red key to continue my journey through some of these passages, and there lays the challenge. I can only carry 3 objects at once. So really, if I can run about the castle opening the doors, because once the doors are unlocked they stay unlocked, and then put myself in a relatively good position to complete the journey. You know, I'm doing well at the moment, and you've seen my ability in some games where I die quite a lot, and you know, I'm doing well and succeeding in getting through this maze, getting through this journey, but there's still a lot to do, and I really need to find some food at the moment before this chicken turns into absolutely nothing. So good timing for the food there. And I've just gone over a leopard on the floor. There's a table in this room. These are all in the original game, and I say the only difference is that the lift that you see and the secret passages are in a slightly different position. And for those of you that are paying attention, you know, you'd have seen this room before, because I've been in that and this bad guy was there, and I wasted a life getting stuck on a door. But the mechanics of this game are also perfect, like the Spectrum. The missiles bounce off the walls, they can bounce off doors, and they can hit enemies. I don't think you can fire as much on here as you could on the original, but you know, that doesn't spoil the game. And if you're playing this, you know, you've seen these rooms with the trapdoors. Watch out for those. They have a grate across them, but if that grate disappears, you fall through and you go into the caverns below, and you know, who knows what dangers await you there. We will go into the caverns on this playthrough. We're in them now, and similar situation, but you know, more enemies to fight, and you've got to find your way back up as well. I'm hoping as I go through here I can find more keys to help me expand the map. So here's a blue key now, but now is a challenge. What key do I drop? I've chosen to drop the green key because you can only carry 3 things, and essentially you use your fire button when you stood above an object to cycle your way through. This enemy there, if I had the special object that needed to kill it, I could have done it with that, but I wasn't carrying that, so I couldn't. And I found myself a little bit stuck. You know, there's at least been 2 green doors that I've passed, so I've picked maybe 3 green doors there, so I've actually picked the wrong key to drop. So at the moment I'm hunting around trying to find where the green key is. This is a maze, and yeah, it was hard enough on the original ZX Spectrum, and I've clearly gone the wrong way because I've actually gone upstairs. I think it was 2 floors because the lift went upstairs twice, and you know, I'm not helping my situation. You know, I'm really not. I should have gone back into the room where I was before, gone down the lift a couple of times, and then gone and found that green key. But this is a room where I died. I recognise that chap there, and all I'm doing is running about creating, you know, no progress for myself. Yes, I can go through that blue door there now. I've got a blue key. I'm in the main room, as you can see, and this is the exit room. And what I found is another difference. I was trying to drop the key, but I'm not sure of the drop key, and there certainly wasn't one defined. And I think this plays a little bit differently as well, where potentially you have to have all 3 parts of the main key in your possession so you can exit the game. If that is true, then that is going to make this a hell of a lot harder, because I'm sure on the original Tiki Taca you could drop items. You can never collect food because when you walk across the food it's automatically collected for you, but I have not found a way to be able to drop the keys unless there's another item that I'm above. So this brings a new challenge. On the floor there is a cross. That would kill the Dracula guy if I had that with me. I don't. He's not around either, so I'm not particularly using this. So I'm dropping down through the trapdoor, and the trapdoor doesn't always lead you to the lower levels. It is a preset path that one trapdoor will always take you through to the same place. But yeah, this is brilliant. You know, this is fantastic. I'm not sure about the guy blocking the door there, what I need to get by him. I tried to walk into him and he did kill me. I was just having a look to see whether that was a glitch, and it's clearly not, and I'm on my last life. But this is a brilliant version. This would have been, and I've just gone through a passage there, that's why the screen flipped like that. This would have been an absolute hit, regardless if it's a remake of an original game here. If this was released back in the day, this would have been absolutely lapped up. You know, it's fast, it's not a slow game. And some of the Ultimate games, brilliant as they were, and I look at Nightlore here, it was very, very slow. You know, sometimes if you had moving blocks, moving enemies in the screen at the same time, it really slowed down. Ultimate had really pushed the spectrum to its absolute limits. And you know, if this had been seen back then, back in the 80s, you know, this would have sold an absolute fortune. You know, many of these would have been done. And it's a brilliant recreation here. I'm continuing to run around this game, run around this maze, trying to find my way through. One of the differences from the main building to the caverns is mushrooms sometimes appear randomly when you're on the levels, on the cavern levels that you've got here. I think, if I recall, when you touch the mushroom, they drain your health. I don't think I do this on this playthrough. I'm reasonably good at this. You know, this isn't one of the normal games that I've played in the past that you've seen me play where it's been game over in a few minutes. You know, I'm having a good run. I'm on my 3rd life at the moment, but we're doing okay. I'm happy with the progress. Clearly, I'm trying to hunt, and not clearly because I know what I was doing here, I'm trying to hunt the green key. And can I find this green key? No, I can't. I think there was a couple of entrances into the caverns, if I recall correctly, a couple of different ways that you can get into it, and there's a green door there, which leads me to believe that I actually could be on the other side of where the green key is. And I don't have any luck, I'll tell you now, there's some spoilers for you. I have no luck in finding that green key, because I'm hoping it's going to open up other doors, give me the missing red key that I never had, and then I can go back into the mansion and try and get the last couple of bits of the key. The key was always randomly placed around the game as well, so you know, you're never going to find it in the same spot. You know, you can't always run to a certain room, and that's an interesting bad guy. Can't remember what it is, but trying to run around him, and he very cleverly keeps going back towards the door. So yeah, there's a nice little bit of IA in here. Not impossible, because I've managed to get through it, but it keeps you on your toes just a little bit. A credit to this game as well. Obviously, it's a lift off the ZX Special version of Attic Attack, but it reminds me a lot of Wizard's Lair. Wizard's Lair was effectively a homage to Attic Attack, another version of Attic Attack. I'm sure it was a Wizard's Lair, but it was created by Bubble Bobble. No, not Bubble Bobble, that's a game. It was created by Bubble, I think, as a software house. And for some reason, you know, this also reminds me of this. You know, it shouldn't do. I should be thinking purely Attic Attack. And you know what? I would love to see a 3D version of Wizard's Lair, you know, one day as well. But here we are, back in the room. This is where it started, and this is where it ends, because I realise that I'm not going to complete the game. So I just wander around for a little bit, you know, but I'm going to end up heading back into that room to let my man die. So he dies where he started. I'm the Gentleman. This is the Gentleman's Pixel Club. This is Tiki Taca, and I hope you've enjoyed a fantastic game. Stay safe, stay well, stay spooky, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Would you like to play again?